Buying a home is fun, it's exciting, but you should get a home inspection. I've asked my friend John Bowley from Building Specs Pros to join me here on the program today to talk about what a home inspection includes. Now, I've got a pretty good idea of what it does include, but John's an expert. He's been doing this for decades and he's going to tell us. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hi, Joe. I'm doing great.
Hey, it's great to have you here. Okay, how long have you been in the business now?
Oh God, almost 20 years.
20
Yeah,
years. Okay, so a long
20
time.
long years.
You've seen everything. You do a lot of your work in Southern California. And so this
Yeah.
question has come up. What does a home inspection include? To me, it seems pretty straightforward, right? You check the plumbing, the electrical, the foundation. Explain what you go through.
Yeah, sure. Well, the first thing you want to be able to do is check the primary conditions of a home. You have to turn things on. The first thing when an inspector arrives at your house, he's going to look around on the outside, do some basic visual stuff. Then what I like to do, if there's a crawl space, I turn the water on the home and keep water going for
Mm,
30, 40 minutes. And then try to go underneath there when the water's on, crawl underneath and start looking for leaks underneath the home because it does happen and see where water's at. Is it leaking or not? Is it flowing through? And identify the primary components, which is really important. You're going to identify, is it copper water piping? Is it plastic water piping? Is it PEX? Is it a recalled polybutylene? There's certain components that are recalled that the common homeowner doesn't know. But we as inspectors, once we go through the training and get certified, we know what's recalled and what's not. And the main things that you want to check are the electrical, plumbing, structure, roof. Just don't walk on a roof. You want to go up in the attic first and take a look to see what's there. Some of the framing might be missing. It could be altered. You know, a house that's been flipped, you have to be
mm.
careful and pay attention to what's there.
Yeah. And I've got a tip for everyone listening and watching. It's so important to listen to your home inspector, someone like John Bowley. And the reason why, it's kind of like when you go to the doctor and the doctor does their inspection on you. If you get your physical, which is an inspection of your body, and you kind of blow it off, you're like, well, yeah, it sounds like things aren't going well. And thanks for doing this, doc. I don't really care. If you do that with your body, it's bad news. And if you do it with your home, it's bad news. Don't you agree, John? People often get so caught up in the emotion, they fall in love with the
Yes.
property, and they really don't want to hear bad news, do they?
No, they don't. It's funny you say that. I get that all the time. And I tell people all the time, let's take a calm approach. Let's look at this because at the end of the day, things add up. You have to take the finance part of it
Hmm.
and think about the numbers, not about how pretty things look. Think about what it's going to cost to operate that home. What is it going to cost if you have bad windows? Is your energy going to be bill be higher or is it going to be lower? So conserving energy and cost are huge. If you have a 20-year water heater, 20 years old, and is it going to produce enough hot water or is it going to lag? There's things that you have to pay attention to, and that's your consumption of energy in a home.
In the end, it is a business transaction. And a lot of us don't want to think of that. It's kind of like getting married. You fall in love with this
Very
person,
well said.
but when you do get married, in all the states I know of, it's a business transaction. There's actually a marriage license. There's a contract, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
easier to
yeah,
get in,
yeah.
and it's easier to get in it than get out of it. Same thing with a home, right? Easy to get into a bad deal, and then when you find out that you didn't have it inspected or inspected by a guy who knows what he's doing, you're now stuck with a bad deal, and it's harder to get out of it.
You're so right. Pay attention to at the end a cost of repairs. What is it going to cost to fix it?
Mm.
And then that's when today's market, you can now that it is a buyer's market, you can request a credit. And that credit could be $5,000 or $30,000. One thing that we offer along the way is sewer camera inspections. And that way we'll know what the sewer line underground looks like real time in a video. And that helps you make a better decision. There's no sense of you walking into a home and then Thanksgiving comes around and you got roots in the sewer and you're mad at the home inspector because you didn't pay that extra fee to get it done.
Yeah, pay the extra fee. A lot of people just want to get through it. They're like, okay, let's get insurance, let's get the mortgage, let's pay the realtor. And yeah, they say we should get an inspection. So we'll just check that box off too. I'm telling you, that is so important. And if you're trying to save money where there's a guy who just got into the business 6 months ago and he's $300 less, that's not a good decision. It's
Ooh.
it's like a doctor without a license. Well, he doesn't cost as much. Yeah, there's a reason. He's not legit. And I'm not saying a guy who's been in business isn't legit, but he doesn't have the experience, and that's what you need. Hey, John, we could go on forever to talk about this. And if someone does want to talk about this, they can contact you, right?
Absolutely.
Great. All of John's contact information is located in the description of this podcast. John Bowley, as always, thank you so much for your insight in home inspection.
Thank you, Joe.